would probably take the money because it seems like free money, and like we would take the student loans. I'm saying that people who are wealthy, right, who come from wealthy backgrounds, are not taking student loans if they don't have to. Like they're like. There's a whole different way of thinking. Like,
right, you saying they not taking student loans? Like, why not take?
Because the shit, like I got $20,000. I only actually have $20,000 in student loans, but I owe $33,000 because
talking about your specific situation.
I know, but I'm just saying, like I owe $33,000 because of the interest. So as a person who's like trying to make money, why the fuck would I take a $20,000 loan and owe $13,000 on it? You know what I'm saying? Like, or
because like, you would pay off if you got money, you gonna pay it off before the interest accrues.
So again, these niggas is not getting they student loans forgiven because they paid this shit off before they got to this point. So that just proves my point more. The people who are gonna actually get their loans forgiven are people who.
Man,
like
got this shit all frozen. Okay, hey.
It's like you're not gonna have people that's been sitting around that got money, that actually have money. Because just like you just said, if you get the student loan and you got the money to pay it off, you're gonna pay it off before you get the interest, right?
I feel you. What are we hot?
Yes.
Oh damn, my bad. But, so what? I'd seen the liquor. It popped out. So I was like, damn.
You see them titties on that shot glass.
What the hell is that? Right, what is that? This man got some some concoction, got the frozen liquor. But I see what you're saying. But what I'm saying is about student loans, it will be advantageous to people outside of not necessarily just the black community, but the people who don't need the student loans. Like, bro, like it's a loan. I get what you're saying, but my thing is you're going to take the loan because it's free money and you'll just pay it off. That's just like buying something on your credit card and paying it off at the end of the month.
But you got that. So again, you're talking exactly to my point. So you're not one, you'd already have to have student loans, right? So if you already have student loans, you've already outside of the whole but getting the loan and then paying it off before you get interest. Because if you go under that model, a person would go to college for 4 years, they'll take the student loans, and 6 months, I think it's like 6 months, your student loans are deferred interest. And after you leave school, right, they're gonna pay it off in 6 months. So that shit is not getting forgiven. So I understand that you're saying that they would take the money because it's free money. But what I'm saying to you, if they're already a wealthy person, they're not even gonna let the money get to a status where interest would accrue. So again, when they add the student loan forgiveness, that shit is really gonna only reach people who had student loans for a long time and who need the shit. I mean, there's gonna be people who beat the system. It's
always gonna be there.
Right,
no
that's
what,
always
no
gonna happen. I'm saying don't lose sight of the people that is gonna benefit for the people that's gonna con this shit. Cause it's always gonna be niggas conning. It's always.
I get that. So what I'm saying is, okay, you always gonna have people conning. I would say, to your point, okay, well, take off student loan interest, and then I would say a better thing would be to say, hey, colleges, it's against the law for y'all to raise y'all rates 20-30% a year, because now all you doing is getting free money from the FAFSA and all that shit. You just literally bleeding the government dry, which is bad for America and all this shit. So we're gonna say all that. And then another thing about the class issue is like brand name colleges. When you go to brand name colleges, part of picking a college is how much it's gonna cost. It ain't like no matter what. Part of picking the college is, okay, it's gonna, whether it be HBCU or PWI, whether it be Duke or Georgia Tech, Stanford, Harvard, all Ivy League, whatever you do, part of it is how much the tuition costs. So you saying a kid who made a rash decision and said, hey, I wanted to go to Harvard versus industrious and frugal kid that said, instead of going to Harvard, I'm gonna go to, I don't know, YDC college, wherever. But decided to go that because he knew what he could afford, should take a hit because somebody else was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna ball out on my education.
How are they taking a hit though?
Cause me going into a job interview with a Harvard degree looks way different than me going into an interview with something from Yale or even Georgia or fucking Georgia State.
But
that's crazy.
That's not really.
You shouldn't get rewarded for that.
That's not really.
Fuck it, I'm gonna ball out. You know what? It's New Year's. We popping bottles. Let's go.
That's not really related though.
That's what's happening. If you say, hey, student loan forgiveness, $10,000. Like,
but they also like they're not forgiving. From my understanding, they're not just forgiving all student loans. So if you also have to be from a certain wage group, right? And
so I get, and not to cut you off, I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying what you're.
And you're
talking about across the board, but the way they keep kicking it is that they kicking it. Oh, black people, we gonna forgive student loans. Fuck that, y'all forgiving white people student loans too. Don't use my back to goddamn get this shit passed and want me to fight for it and rah, and then I don't even benefit the most from it. White people would benefit the most from it.
That's how America works, though, bro.
So I'm saying, I'm saying, fuck it. Shit, we gonna all die. Fuck it. We ain't got shit to eat. We ain't eating.
Bro, we been not eating though. Like we don't need to live. We don't need to
live without eating. Fuck it. Don't use me talking about, hey, black people, we gonna do all this shit for y'all student loans, and then white people benefit more from it. Fuck that. No.
All I'm saying is, I feel you, and I agree with you. I agree with you probably like 90%. Is that 10% that's just like, I'm still like, nigga, forgive my shit so I can go, like, so I'm like, there's shit that has happened in my life, in my adulthood, that's hindering me from doing shit that I want to do on the next level of my life. I'm not gonna sacrifice that by saying, well, you don't got no choice anyway. If your student loans is government and they pass the law,
right,
like your shit, well, you probably do still got to submit some shit to get it forgiven. You don't do that shit. I'm gonna do that shit because I'm trying to buy a house next year anyway. And like,
to my point,
right? But I'm black though. I deserve that shit.
I'm not saying you don't deserve it. I'm saying like we should hold out in the argument until it don't be like,
no. We don't, bro. We done.
You gotta get what you want, bro.
So
you can't.
Is your student loan paid off?
Man, don't worry about all that.
See,
I ain't got no student loans. I done paid my student loans.
Like a brother that paid his debt off.
So that's what I'm saying.
My shit off, so I was like, nah, fuck that.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. No, you can't do that.
See, that's why I had to pay my dollars for my damn student loan.
Yeah, I had to pay my.
That's what I knew. I knew it was some other shit. That's why he talked about the whole because he chose CSU because
I chose a bullshit affordable school.
But see, that's
instead of going to this brand name college bullshit.
The hometown.
And then, yeah, exactly.
But I guarantee you, they was like, all right, if you already paid your student loan debt, we're gonna give you $10,000 because you already paid it off, and everybody's getting $10,000 out of their debt. You take that shit, right?
I would take it, but I still don't think they should. Bro, my thing is like, I feel like it should be specific to the problem.
I agree.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
I agree.
If they are touting for student loan, a lot of times what I've seen in the marketing, they say, hey, student loan forgiveness, this is going to help black people. It's going to stop generational curses. It's going to help stop the wage gap between black and white people. But not if you giving it to white people too, my nigga. Like, you can't give everybody $10,000 and then think, oh no. But see,
the difference is the mind state of black people right now. Like, I get it. I agree with you 90%. It's just at the same time, like, we have grown to a place as people where we know how to finesse even the bullshit. So it's like, that's just giving me an opportunity to finesse more. That's just giving, and I'm not, by finesse, I don't mean doing nothing illegal. I mean like,
all right,
like, right, like we figuring out whether they make the wage gap fair or not. We figuring that shit out anyway. And
but what I'm saying is inherently in the wage gap, you get, and damn, I wish Twan was here. Shout out to my homeboy Twan. But
I went to HBCU too, right?
Nah, but he always be trying to. Yeah. Okay, I know you went to Alabama State University.
Okay, thank you for putting that at the beginning.
Shout out to all my people. You know what I'm saying, Miss Jackson, Miss Naismith, or not Miss Naismith no more. I don't remember her new last name, but yeah, my homegirls. But even going to HBCU, going to Harvard, or not even Harvard. What's the name of that place? The Puffy went to. Not Emory. It's white and blue. Howard.
Howard, yeah.
Going to Howard versus Harvard is a completely different landscape when you putting that on your application and trying to get a job. They're gonna play this person from Harvard like 50, 20, 30% more just because they went to Harvard. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a going to college, choosing a college is a brand name thing. Like, even coming up, I thought, when you come up and you ain't necessarily got it like that, people tell you brand names don't matter. Brand names don't matter. So
because they really don't. Like,
Polo don't
they
matter.
Really don't.
Them Jordans don't matter. Them J's don't matter. All that shit don't matter.
The wave.
But it's about the quality of the material. But when you talk about colleges, brand names fucking matter, bro.
They matter to people who uphold an existing system. So it's like if you're trying to have a different system, like if you're really trying to watch the shit burn down, go to a fucking HBCU, because that says that I don't care that you might pay me more for having a Harvard degree, because I'm gonna go to Howard and get the same level of education, and then I'm gonna create the space that you trying to gatekeep for me anyway. So that's what I'm saying. Like we're already at the place as people where that shit is not. It cannot oppress us anymore because we won't allow this shit to oppress us anymore. Meaning, like, nigga, I'm starting a business right now. Like, we all are business like minded right now.
Starting a business has nothing to do with a college degree. So I would say that
what I'm saying to you is, nigga, if I start my own business and I make enough money, I don't give a fuck if you would pay me different if I had
a college degree to start your business, and you don't.
I know, nigga. That's what I'm saying to you. So that's why are we even worried about the college degree anymore?
Because nobody talking about getting money for the college degree.
For shit that we already did, not shit that we're gonna do in the future. Nigga, we already went to college. All the people who are getting their student loans forgiven have already went to college. That's not some shit. They can't forgive some shit that ain't happened yet. So we're already past that. So that's why I'm like, okay, the system might change, but that shit is irrelevant because all of us already went to college. Everybody who owns student loan, who still has money, like, we already made the decision whether you was going to Harvard or Howard. Right. You already made this decision whether you were going to Alabama State or Columbus State. So that shit is irrelevant at this point. All that matters is the dollars that you owe. And if they're trying to give you, if they're trying to lower that dollar, like, the whole psychology about like whether you went to Harvard and you gonna get paid more or not, we already made those decisions. We already passed that.
Okay, I don't see what that relates to.
How does that stop you from? How does that affect like whether you gonna take how does that affect whether you gonna take the fucking student loan forgiveness or not? If you already made the decision,
if you gonna take it or not, you'd be dumb not to take it if they offer it. Point blank, period. If they offering it, whether you got it or you don't, like, take the shit. It's money. But what I'm saying is, I don't think they should do it. What I'm saying
because you don't owe no money.
Not one because they don't owe no money, right? But what I'm saying is, I don't think it will have the effect that they plan on it having.
I guarantee you. I'm telling you as a person
who proved it. You said the first thing you're gonna do is go get more debt and buy a house. That's gonna make the housing market go up crazy. Bruh. And then niggas ain't gonna be able to afford a house. An affordable house would be $300,000.
Niggas who don't have a certain mindset can't afford a house now. That's what I'm saying to you. That shit, our entire country, all of this shit has been inflating from day one. Like, the wage gap has been growing from day one. You just gotta figure out how the fuck do you fit into the way that this shit is inflating or growing.
Yes,
it's gonna always do that, regardless of whether they forget the student loans or not. The housing market is gonna go up based off of how much money people make from this fucking pandemic. Right. Like how much the SBA loans is gonna affect the housing market. That shit is already out. Like, so that's what I'm saying to you is, like, that shit is gonna happen regardless. So I feel like
what I'm saying is, I don't think the government should enable.
The government shouldn't do 90% of the shit that they do
and encourage that behavior from their wherever the fuck they
These
are. You know what I'm saying? Their
motherfuckers-
pedestal or whatever. They shouldn't enable and encourage that.
Bro,
type
we
of
know
behavior.
that though, right? We know
So
that
that's what I'm
going
saying.
in.
Like, bro, that's the government. The government should be like, I don't know. Like, I'm not super democratic, but they should help provide regulations and deregulate certain shit. But they shouldn't necessarily say, "Oh, fuck it, ball out, go to whatever college you want to, get a $200,000, $300,000 worth of debt."
But see, again,
Man,
you
hey.
talking about stuff going forward. This money is for people who've already chose that. They already chose what college they gonna go to. They
Right.
already chose whether they was gonna ball out or not. Or you already chose to go to the college you went to because it was more affordable for you and
Right.
you could pay off the debt. Those choices already been made.
Right.
They're not encouraging future choices.
Just, bro, if I reward you for anything,
Can I
you
say
would do
something?
it again.
Yes,
sir.
you can.
This is another episode of my Homeboys podcast. This is my enigmatic student loan debt-free homeboy Napoleon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am him. He is me. And I'm here with my festively wonderful, wanting some money for me and him. Homeboy, E-Money Bags.
And this is my homeboy, Big Grams, Mr. Getting in the gym, always shooting, Mr. Cutting, getting ripped, bruh. Used to be fat, now he, sexy. No homo. Big
Please tell me
Grams.
no homo. Hey, and this is
My
Homeboys
Podcast.
That was the longest fucking.
How long? I don't even know how long.
I
It
looked
was
at the clock.
16
That's why I
minutes.
shut that down. I looked at the clock.
God damn.
Yeah, I can go again, but I just needed to make sure we got that.
this gonna be we need to continue this conversation on Woke Wednesday, man.
Yeah, nah, it's the thing though, man. I feel it, but I see Jason over there looking mighty fly in that hoodie. Are we gonna talk about it?
These hoodies doing something to my.
That's what we gotta put pictures
Oh
out,
my
man.
goodness.
Even if it's just some solo pictures or some shit.
I almost posted one. I ain't gonna lie. I said I got to get everybody's approval. I ain't know. We got to slow.
Hey, I was about to take one in the mirror over there.
That shit is fly.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm happy the way they came out. They came out
Yeah.
hard. I ain't even gonna lie.
Nah, they fire.
If you support
Ain't no cap
us,
on it.
we're gonna eventually have a way for you to support by buying your own hoodie. It's dope. Trust me, you see the pictures, you're gonna definitely want your own, and we look forward to it.
Hey man, you got to go ahead and stamp yourself. Get that jersey, man. Go ahead and put it on your back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it don't matter if you go to Harvard or not. You can make your own fucking hoodies, bro.
Man.
Like you can, they
I
might
feel
pay.
I feel like it's a low blow, bro. We can't be doing all this. Like you just trying to win the argument now.
I'm just
trying
saying, bro.
I was trying to have a debate. You trying to win the argument. Like.
Before y'all go back and worry, I just want to say Merry Christmas to both of y'all.
Appreciate it,
to
man.
Twan,
Yes, sir. I
our
appreciate
homeboy
it.
Twan, our homeboy Drew, to all our listeners, supporters, fans, family, friends, everybody. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes, have a very Merry Christmas.
it's gonna fall in
and a
between.
Happy New Year.
I have not. Okay, so am I tripping or is just like, did we not get any of our R&B classic music this year?
Ooh.
Cause like
I played
every Christmas starts by hearing. Every Christmas of mine starts with The Temptation Silent Night. Like that shit just come on. It come on somewhere, whether it be the radio, whether it be the TV, or like I ain't even heard the what you gonna get for Christmas? I said,
yeah,
what you?
I
Gonna,
really
I ain't
ain't
heard
been
that
hearing all
shit
that
this
on the
year.
radio,
I
yeah.
ain't heard the fucking TLC shit.
I mean, I went to YouTube and played it. You know what I'm saying? You got to play that. Most definitely.
Okay, so that's a for me that's a good segue into the conversation I wanted to have around the holidays.
What?
So like, I feel like, man, in our generation, we gotta figure out how to like continue to have these traditions that happen in our community around holidays. I feel like, so for me personally, like I don't celebrate Christmas, but this year I really like sat down. I was like, I probably need to celebrate Christmas.
That segues, tangent alert. That segues into my topic, because one of my topics that I was going to talk about, or something I want to talk about, is like, I feel like this, well, we could just say this Christmas was crazy because woke folks didn't go at Christmas. I mean,
Right.
I'm not necessarily a goer at her Christmas. I don't celebrate, like you just said. Like, I mean, I celebrate the family and all this stuff, but we understand Christmas is kind of like the pagan bullshit
Right.
to a certain extent. But nah, that's crazy. Like, some of the traditions didn't happen. like you were saying, I really didn't hear some of that music. Let me go ahead and take a sip with my guys. You know
Straight to the head.
But yeah, man, like, so I don't know if it's a COVID thing or is it just like, is that where we're growing to? Cause like I don't go at Christmas either, but I do try to push Kwanzaa because it's created by African Americans. Like we always be looking for like tradition, or we always say in the black community we don't have traditions. That's one of the things we lack. But we've also had people come through and create traditions that we just don't
respect,
or embrace as a whole. But I just like I said, this year I'm just sitting down and I'm like, bro, I don't agree with Christmas. But I definitely miss the whole family aspect, like of what Christmas and holidays bring, like just being around your family. Because just kind of like being around my family, I did a podcast with my dad on Not Safe for Work, and like
it was very dope.
Yes,
by the
check
way,
that
if you
out.
have not
Appreciate
listened to it, please check it out.
So like it's shit that I be saying, and my dad was like, "Yeah, your grandma used to say that." I'm like, "Nigga, I don't remember that." You know what I'm saying? But it was like, damn, it just was like, so shit was planted in me when I was young that I don't necessarily remember. They just starting to like grow legs right now as an adult. So like even on the Christmas holiday, like I was just thinking, like, my grandmother died years ago, like 7 years ago. And ever since she died, like it was just been like this kind of like dimness around family things. Cause my grandma was the matriarch and nobody kind of took up that role. And a lot of times I be feeling like, even though I'm a man, like I be wanting to cook and shit, like to kind of like create those spaces where
create the environment. Hell
right.
yeah.
So I'm just like, man, this year I'm like, okay, next year I got to figure out some way to like create that space. Cause I know even like looking at my friends, like my circle of friends, I know a lot of people who don't have that space. Like they don't just like, have a space where people just kind of get together with their family, because a lot of us are transplants to Atlanta. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, from different spots.
Yeah, I feel to go back a little bit, I feel like a part of it is due to COVID, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, how you want to view it. But I feel like I didn't hear my R&B shit, or the black Christmases, but I feel like the woke people didn't necessarily go out after Christmas because it added some sense of normalcy, you know what I'm saying, or however you say that word, because it like added some type of standard or foundation of, oh, it's Christmas, this is what we do at Christmas, I'm finna buy presents, I'm finna spend time with family. So people didn't really go at it because it's like, bruh, so many people was lost this year, right? You know what I'm saying? And you sitting up here going in about some, not saying going at Christmas don't matter, or like that Christmas is it's not like Christmas is evil. It's just more so that people like, okay, we know this is some bullshit. Like Thanksgiving, it ain't like Thanksgiving is evil, but we know it's some bullshit.
We know that.
This story y'all telling us ain't Pocahontas and Joe Smith.
Educate me. So you said you don't agree with Christmas. Was that your
I said
word?
I don't celebrate. I don't agree with it neither.
Then what was your reason?
Financially, it's just not smart. And like, and majority of the things we celebrate in America is
materialistic. Yeah,
it's capitalistic.
It's very capitalism at its best. I say that. So what I say, it's a YouTube video and it's got Rick and Morty in there, and I don't necessarily know, but they talk about how the purge and then all that stuff, and like they talk about the purge and what the purge represents in the 5 episodes or 5 movies of the purge. And it started off showing you this, and then it goes to this, and then it shows you like how poor people deal with the purge and how rich people deal with the purge and all this stuff. But after watching that video, I was like, bro, Christmas is real life the purge, because you got broke people and rich people going out after the same shit, like same items, PS5s, Xbox Series X and all this shit, trying to get it to prove that they are like better parents or good or whatever. Like this thing outside of themselves is they're trying to obtain this thing outside of themselves to prove how good they are, when all you gotta do is realize you're a good person. Christmas is the purge.
There's a childhood movie that we grew up on that has that same depiction.
Oh yeah.
Think about it.
Oh, Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
That damn toy was the PS5.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah, you.
They went to war, black and white.
Right,
Yeah.
Sinbad was a bad man in a movie about getting a Christmas present, bruh.
Right. It's just,
Damn, that.
it's
Crazy. It don't change.
I've been thinking about that movie too. It's like, how the fuck did they find how the fuck did they come up with a bad man? And then
I ain't gonna drink.
and then he was black.
Right.
A black man was shopping for a
So
Christmas toy.
this nigga worked for this nigga is a mailman, right? And like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, them motherfuckers had money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but the poor that shit is exactly
Oh,
that.
I already see it. The class issue is like a light skinned black man think he's as good as a white man with money. And
Why
he's
you gotta be
not,
light skinned though?
I mean, because Sinbad was light skinned.
Why you gotta specify light skinned?
Because like white people
That's a trauma in the black community.
Nah, white people be getting
I do feel
offended
like
by
I do
light-skinned
feel like
black
dark skinned people do look at light skinned people a little extra.
We should just stop saying light skin and
We
dark
should
skin.
kill it.
Because we won't be like light white and dark white. We just be like they white. You know?
Nah, we call Trump orange.
We say no.
But Trump was the beginning of that. Like we ain't been calling white folks orange for the last hundreds of years. And we've been calling each other light skin, dark skin
we
forever.
differentiate between us.
Yeah.
I mean, because white people view us different. It's not necessarily
Right.
our doing.
The-
It's
what-
White
we-
people don't say light skin.
But they view us differently though, because like if you light skin, they'll
use-
let you get away with.
They're more
well,
accept- they
not
accept
get
you
away
more.
with shit, because it ain't like they let us anybody get away with anything. Fuck it. But it's I don't know. It's just you get treated different. Like I was watching what's the one movie with Matthew McConaughey when he was supposedly Freeman City or Freeman Town or whatever, some shit like that. But yeah, they ain't have no like anytime they have a slave movie, if they like have a light skinned person, he's always the person that kind of passes. Like so, passing has always been a thing.
Right. But the point is like we gotta stop embracing that shit.
I ain't embracing. I'm just identifying and labeling it. You know what
But
I'm saying?
you're using labels that was given to us, not labels that we created ourselves.
No. So what I was saying about Sinbad was
I know what you. I'm just saying. Beside that, like on side of
We
that,
just need to say black is black.
yeah, we just need to stop. Like
No matter the shade.
we not need. And I'm not saying it like I don't do the shit. I'm just saying
The only time
and
we
it-
really come at a white person, like they're like pale white. They're like that's a white ass cracker right there. They
well, no. So I even saying cracker, like I know previously on the podcast I said cracker came from whip cracker, but I'm reading this book called White Trash by this one white lady, whoever. But cracker actually came from rich white people. And then a thing I'll say that we failed to realize in American history is that when they made the Bill of Rights and all this good stuff talking about, hey, all men are created equal, they were only talking about property owners. So all them poor white people that did not own property and did not own slaves, they were saying like, nah, y'all's niggas too.
Right.
Like, dead ass serious. So it's like, so it went from, when you talk about voting, it went from property owners were the only people innately able to vote. And then it went from property owners to poor white people able to vote. Then black people being able to vote. Or black men being able to vote. Then women being able to vote. So yeah, like that's just the part of history that we kind of lose in translation. Sometimes it's us as black people talking about, oh, we got to fight for the struggle and all this stuff. But it's like, nah, some of these white folks, they've been crackers since crackers been crackers.
so they
like,
coined themselves crackers.
yeah,
I
pretty
never knew
much.
that. I thought it was a hurtful word. So I mean, this whole-
No, so it was rich white people calling poor white
But
people crackers.
that's- and
It was
that's-
crackers and niggas.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. All of this shit, majority of our lingo and the terms we use were created by rich people because they like rich white people because they run this culture like
Yeah.
that. And it's
They're
just
the ones who had newspapers. Imagine being the only nigga with a cell phone, bro.
you know, this is probably the last time I use cracker for the rest of this year. But I didn't know.
I thought you was about to say your line. I was like, what? Hold
January
up.
1st, I'm cracking them up.
All right, okay, thank you, bro. I was like, hold up. Now we just talking about light skin and dark skin. Don't go that damn far, bro.
Man, did y'all see Jingle Jangle?
Jingle, I like Jingle Jangle. Did you?
I love
did you
that
see
movie.
it?
I did.
I love
I
it.
thought it was dope.
You know, there was probably outside
That
the back,
boy teeth was fucked up. I'm
the
sorry.
boy, the kid.
Bro, if you just look at the cover art for the movie, that little boy teeth was fucked
damn.
up.
He has
I'm sorry.
He has several overbites. We'll say that. Listen, But I love outside the background talent. There was only one white actor in that movie.
Yeah.
Did you notice that the rest of the cast, other than background talent, was dancing and shit during the musicals and shit. It was all black, man.
I didn't notice it.
I watched that with my son. I really just enjoyed us. It was no conflict. Well, it was a small conflict if you watched it, but it was really like no big conflict of interest between black people like most movies try to depict.
Right.
Yeah, it was just a
but
movie.
that's what happens when you get to tell your own story.
There you go.
And that's why people are so going whole. Like it's so crazy. Like, cause you mentioned woke and I get it. At this point, I just kind of embrace that term.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say woke, because I mean, sometimes it could get too woke. I could consider myself woke or lucid or like aware or whatever you want to call it.
A good word to
use.
Something I came up with.
Yeah, something I came up with. You know what I'm saying? A little razzle dazzle.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But
lucid ass nigga. Man.
But I just feel like sometimes people will take what I realize is people find something to hate and then try to get other people to hate it as much as they do. And it's like, bro, why are you trying to tout being a hater? Whether it be good or bad shit. Like, people love, and I fuck Trump in any way, but people love to hate Trump, like as if that makes you a good person for not liking Trump. Or they love to hate, I'm not trying to say this man in the same thing as Trump, but anything. Like, people love to hate T.I. for a second because of the Hyman thing and all that stuff, but it's like, oh yeah, we hate this person, or they love to hate Bill Cosby,
but let's not put that in the same conversation as woke though, because it's like,
I mean,
the Hyman thing was more about an overbearing father.
I'm just saying in general, like, because woke already has an extremely negative like
context to it.
Yeah, in our community, like. I talked about this on a lot of episodes ago. Just like we make fun of niggas who are just conscious, and it's like, I don't know. I just don't like I don't like to add the bad rap to those people, right? Because there definitely are haters. There definitely are haters.
No, if you too non-ignorant, then we got to talk about you, because you got to be ignorant. What are you doing thinking? The fuck? Well, whoever thought that? You
that is definitely the hood mindset.
Yeah, you thinking of ideas and trying to better yourself? Fuck that. Oh my God. We're gonna hit this nigga, bro. We're gonna see what he do. But,
so what about the stimulus, man?
The stimulus? I mean, what about it? So how do y'all feel about the stimulus? So my question is,
it's a great question.
Would you what if they said you have to take the vaccine for $2,000. You got to take the vaccine to get your $2,000 stimulus.
Or what's the opposite side of the equation?
Well, if you don't take the stimulus, if you don't take the vaccine, you good. You ain't got to take it. You just don't get the stimulus.
You don't get no 600 at least.
You don't get no 600.
Man.
Nah, matter of fact, you get 600. It's either 2,000 or 600.
I take the 600.
I take the 600. I don't take flu shots. I'm not taking a vaccine that was created within 6 months.
And I feel like I can make $2,000.
Turn that 6 into 2,000 real quick.
Yeah, like, I mean, just for real. Like, for the first time in life,
you got a susu, right?
I don't deal with that shit. I don't trust it.
Hey, listen,
we really need to talk about, like, really, if you got people with like-minded mindsets, that Sousa shit's real.
Yeah. But see,
it really is.
The actual fucking Susu is 100% real thing. This whole, like,
to make bullshit motherfuckers.
Yeah, but the way, okay, I think we talked about this on another episode, but we're gonna talk about this real quick because Susu's is about to come. Something about to come back. That's like a Susu. So if you listen to this and you was on the fence about doing a Susu last time, or you did a Susu last time and you got burnt, or like you just like trying to flip your money, listen. Don't do the shit. Like, I mean, unless you doing what an actual susu is, and I'll explain what an actual susu is to people. So, a susu is a way of like pulling resources. But the thing about it is, like, let's say you do $1,000 susu, right? and you get the $10,000, right? You continue to put $1,000 in until you put $10,000 in. That's how Susu works. It's just like if us three, since it's just three of us here, we all put $1,000 in. We'd only have to do a 3-round Susu, but the person, whoever goes first, is gonna get that $3,000 up front. So it's like, but you still gotta put $2,000 back in. You know what I'm saying? Because you still have to put the money back in. It's not like you're making an investment and you're getting double the money. It's just these were tools that was used to say, let's say somebody.
I say it provides liquidity,
right?
So what
like
people don't understand. Back to the whole, I ain't trying to win the argument, but back to the whole thing about the student loan and all this good stuff. But when you are liquid, you have the ability to spend and get certain things that you wouldn't have otherwise. So if you got $10,000 cash, you can go to the bank and say, hey, give me a $5,000 loan. Well, what's your collateral? I got $10,000. The bank gonna say yes every time. Why? Because they gonna get double if you fuck up. Just don't fuck up. So now you got $15,000 to do what you want. You dig?
With the Susus though, what is your limit? You know, like what the initial Susu that everybody was big about was like $100, right? That was what everybody was the first stimulus.
You saying to try? You saying
try it out? What would be your?
I tried it out for $25.
So you want to do 100? You want to do 100?
Hell no.
You wouldn't take 100 out of 600.
I mean,
well, you had no kids. That's right. So it would be 600.
I mean, I would, but like, I don't like losing money. That shit is just like a high pet peeve of mine.
Man, I'm gonna give y'all some real game. So instead of doing the Susu, you could do what they call that shit. It's pretty much you buy stocks. It's a stock pool or whatever like that. So you 5 of your friends, all of y'all put in $1,000. Now this is $1,000 is y'all, but each of y'all is 5 of y'all. So it's you 5 friends. All y'all put in $1,000. So that's $5,000. Each one of y'all look at 5 different stocks. So that means one man looks at one stock at one time. So now y'all studying that stock. You know if this stock gonna go up, down. You know all the news about it. You know the ins and outs about this one thing. So now y'all got $5,000 to put wherever it's gonna be. So now you can say, hey, on this week, this stock gonna go up. They just released earnings. They just did this, or this. You know, Roku just got HBO Max, and for the next year, they're gonna have all the movie theater releases
and Fire TV.
Roku up like a motherfucker. Put your 5 racks in Roku. Guess what? After Roku hit this certain number that you've already established because you've been studying it, you take the money out. It ain't 5 racks no more. Now you might got 7, 8, 9 racks. You know what I'm saying? That's a 20, 30, 50% increase. You dig? And now you take it out, and now y'all go back. All y'all still studying y'all 5 stocks. Oh, this was gonna go up 10% this month. This is gonna go up 40%. You know what I'm saying? You can do it like that instead of just doing a Susu. But that involves a little bit of work, and I know a lot of times.
Well, the thing that we gotta address the most is like we gotta start back trusting each other, like just off the strength of trusting each other, because that's what that's really the problem. So that's why the whole idea of the Susu that they've been doing works, is because you overpromise some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you promise some shit so high that emotionally a person be like, damn, I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right there, emotionally. Because you get somebody.
Bro, I always think about Columbus, man. Like I live on the east side. You live over there.
What's up, east side?
Yeah, like it's fucking 5. It's more than 5, but it's at least 5 fucking lottery spots within like less than a quarter of a mile. Like they sitting right next to each other, and it's like the lottery, like that area off Forest Road and Floyd Road, right, is pooling so much of the black money in that community. Like these niggas is really like bringing. They probably spending thousands upon thousands of dollars a day on lottery. You know what I'm saying? On some shit that has been proven doesn't show returns. Cause like whole thing about gambling is you get
the house always wins.
House always wins.
House always wins.
Every time. And like the little bit of rush that you get from winning, 9 times out of 10, you put in way more money than you won. Yeah. Like even when you win. But it's like how do we channel that same energy? like into having niggas invest on some shit that's 100% gonna have a return. Like most investments, like they absolutely, it might not be like 100% return. It might not be like you doubling your money, but like 10% is
not finna double your money. That's the thing motherfuckers don't realize. Like, so I say drug dealers kind of got us fucked up a little bit, whether you are a drug dealer or not, or know of some of them, but like, you know, the return on drugs, but the return on drugs come with a lot of risk. And for us, that risk doesn't necessarily like,
it doesn't overshadow
it doesn't necessarily overshadow it, and it's just kind of like part of the game for most of the part from movies and stuff like that. So it's like getting double and triple your money back is crazy on any investment.
Yeah.
If you get 20% back, that means if I give you $1 and I make 20 cents,
right,
that's a crazy fucking return.
Right.
To even go on to hedge fund managers. I'm talking about hedge fund managers, Jamie Dimon. If you watch Billions, that David Axelrod motherfucker, they dealing with billions and billions of dollars. I'm talking about police pension funds. I'm talking about teacher retirements. I'm talking about just money. I'm talking about like all this, like a lot of money, like the infrastructure money of America. At best, they make a 50% return.
Right.
At best. I'm talking about they give you $1, they make 50 cents. A drug dealer, bro, if I spend like what Jeezy say, we know the number 17.5. You know, like, bro, you spend 17.5, you're gonna come back with 50. That's crazy. That's not a real return. The only reason you getting that return is because it's illegal. So to make a legal return, you gotta understand a 50% return is the max, top tier. Oh, legally I made 50%. I'm good. So
you really gonna be around like 10%, 10 to 20%. Right. Like that's super realistic. Yeah. So it's like
based off of what you're putting in.
Yeah. So if you find a hustle that can return 50%, bruh, scale.
Go ahead. What you said? You said $25. Like $25. If you get $50 off of that, and you see the next person who put in 100, and he's getting back 200, 300 plus. Like damn, I should have took that 25 at least. Bit more courageous, but it comes down to who you willing to go into business with. That's what the susu is, right? The people.
Well, no, the susu is a scam.
It's a scam, but the point is you're doing with like-minded individuals that you can feel like you can trust.
Well, a real susu,
yeah, like us three, this triangle right here.
A real susu.
I would feel like we all equally, if not more than each other, have more to lose by. We'll say $25 minimum. I lose $25. I'm like, what the fuck? I just do that shit.
But I think a part that you got to understand is a susu is not an investment. Like, so you're not gonna get more than what you put in the susu. So that's what
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's why I was like starting out by saying what I was saying. Like, people got to understand susus are not investments. They're just essentially like a loan.
Even when you branch out, say us three start off, we both bring 3 apiece and they bring 3 apiece. It's still gonna be just what you.
It's supposed to provide.
That's liquidity. The scam part.
That's the pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
It's supposed to provide
liquidity. Because math doesn't work like that. Like, eventually people are gonna stop coming, and then as soon as people stop coming, you throw off the whole system. So that's why a susu is clear. Please listen to me clearly. A susu is not an investment. It's only it's a way of funding your own loan in your own community. So like if somebody needs $10,000 today and you got 10 people, you're gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna put $1,000 in, and that person's gonna have $10,000. So it's like an actual susu is like getting an interest-free loan that you just kind of get amongst your friends. So let's say y'all wanted to invest in 120. Well, you wouldn't be investing, but let's say I needed $2,000 for 121 Dreams to buy some equipment, right? I'd still be paying y'all back, but I'd only be paying y'all back $2,000. You get what I'm saying? So that's an important part that people have to understand about flower gifting and all of that shit.
What you put in is what you get.
Right. That's the only way it works, because there's no investment part of it.
Yeah, you're right.
Because in investments, like, you have to be buying and selling something. Like, that's how investments work. Like, you buy stocks, you sell them at a higher price. Like, but with susus, you're literally we just took all our money and gave it to Jason. You know what I'm saying? There was no money made in that.
That's right.
Like, and that's what people have to really understand about this shit. And like, so the scammiest part of it is, right? Like, so people get let's say we started a susu, right? And we could do this if y'all down for inviting that karma in your life.
I'm not.
I'm just saying, if majority
They ain't got no
rule,
more PS5s on the market. If we had some PS5s on the market, I would have did the susu. Everybody would have.
How many have you grabbed?
Man, I mean, what's the susu that we talking about?
this man though, he always be so secretive about
You
shit.
want to pick your brain for everything,
Right, he be wanting to know everything you got to say, but don't want to.
I probably had 5, man. That's it.
This man.
That's it.
Retail 5.
Oh yeah, I ain't rebuy nothing. The fuck.
Damn, you don't even let me know about 2.
This nigga,
So it was some Xboxes and some Xboxes in there.
Xbox.
And shout out to Eric for putting me on the Xbox.
you went there and got it.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I went up there. He had put me on that. I told you about the Xbox at Walmart.
You did.
Yeah, I was like, hey, they got an Xbox up here. Go get it.
They everywhere. But
That shit's so crazy, man. Because
He was
listen,
like, Jason was like, man, fuck that. I'm sleep. Man. Fuck that Xbox. I want a PS5. I want a PS5. Is it a PS5? Nah, fuck it.
I could not get about my sleep for that little Xbox chain. I'm sorry.
the crazy shit though is like, and this is a true example of like how being broke and being black has hindered us. Cause like, listen, this is very specific. Like, I would have been on the PS5 wave of flipping them shits if I actually had the money to buy the PS5s.
I know Eric is
So-
a reseller.
So like at that time, like now I could probably do that shit, but it ain't worth as much now. But at the time when the shit was jumping, I just didn't even have the money to put up to buy the first one. So it was like,
Bro, when I went up there, I thought it was bullshit because I went to GameStop. So I went up to GameStop after they announced the price because I remember even talking
400, 500.
Yeah, I remember they announced the price. I was at some bullshit ass store or whatever, and then I was like, man, they had pissed me off. So then I checked, and I was like, oh, they released the prices. So then I went to GameStop, and then even when I went in GameStop, they was like, how many do you want to reserve? And I was like, are you serious?
They asked you how many?
I thought that, I was like, bro, people ain't doing next gen like this. I really thought, I was like, well,
You had to drop that C note.
yeah, no, I was like, man, let me just, because I thought it was bullshit, and so I just reserved some. So I slick came up like,
hell yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, and I thought they was gonna hit me with, oh, you reserved more, so we're gonna cancel them because they didn't did that shit to me before. Like, oh, you were trying to be shady and you tried to get more, so we're not gonna let you get none. And I'm like, man, so I reserved some, and they came through. So I'm like,
That shit.
bet.
bro, that's like that's the beauty of the country we live in.
Supply
And that's
demand.
and that's why I'm like, to bring it back to the whole student
And it was
loan.
all on credit, just FYI. Talking about loans,
I ain't had
it was
it.
all on credit.
Right.
Fuck it, I ain't
Just
paying
to
for
bring it
shit.
back to the student loan conversation, bro. Like,
He financed his PS5.
hey, the one I got, I financed it.
I ain't mad at
Shit.
it.
It
Most people
just-
would admit that shit. They would have like,
Hey.
yeah, I bought them. Like,
Right. The one I got, that's the shit worked perfectly for me. I had a Best Buy credit card. So
shit, well, we
I ain't had no Walmart credit card. I ain't have nowhere else credit card. So when I hit on
Bruh.
Best Buy,
Bruh.
I got the shit.
That
But-
shit was the emotional roller coaster for me. So Walmart, I had my card set up. Now I was buying for the right reasons. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, man. I will say that.
I was
will
trying
say
to-
that.
Hey,
Thank
you know what? I
for-
love
was
you, man. You my
trying
brother, and I was
really
like,
trying to make sure this boy, cause that was his number one PS5. Man, let's get it. I had a whole month and a half. I tried for 4 weeks straight. Every time I had websites that told me the release dates, notifications. Walmart got me to the checkout. I put in my card information, billing address, boot. I had the card information already saved. Matter of fact, fuck that, I was ready. Checked out, and that shit was spin. I was like, yeah, we in there. And that shit came back. Try again. I said, what the fuck?
bruh. On Best Buy, nigga, I was being resilient that
He
day.
told me it took an hour. What's about an hour? You
Bruh, it was like at least an hour of
just
me clicking refresh.
refreshing.
Cause I had got the link and like I got to work and everybody was like, the PS5 dropping today. Everybody was pulling it and we ain't super busy. So I just pulled that shit up on my phone and I had this one link that would just keep saying add the cart. So I was like,
I see what you're saying.
so I just kept pressing
Man,
that
the
shit
red-
and add
the red
the cart. and it was like, all right, the shit fucked up. I kept pressing that shit. Man, one time it got to the point where one was actually in the cart, but with Best Buy, you had to find a store.
Bro, that shit happened to mine. Hold on, tell me this story.
You had to find a store. So every time I clicked the store, it was like that shit sold out. I'm there clicking this shit all day long, just switching to every different store. And Cobb had one, and that shit came through. I was like,
he checked out at our store.
No, bro,
all the way from the Cula.
He didn't hit us though.
I would have picked it up
down the street.
I would have picked it up for you, bro.
Right down the street for this nigga, man.
I would have picked it up.
He gonna call the nigga that's not here right now. Shout out to Twine.
Like, nah, these niggas gonna got my shit.
Because listen, I know you would flip it. And Jay said I was gonna feel bad because I know he wanted an assistant. So I was like, I'm not even finna put because I would have fucked around and be like, all right,
psychological warfare. You want to choose me? I would feel bad if I held it.
I would have been like, damn, Jason, man, just go and pay me retail for it.
Jason, meet me in the parking lot. I would have ran off.
Nah.
I would be in your pocket.
Man, you wouldn't believe it, bro. They got me, bro. Who got it, boy? It
Shit,
like,
I got guilted in the seven because I only charged $750 for it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's too much.
Oh, my bad.
No, whoa. He said he charged $10.50 and he felt guilty. That's what he said.
Oh, okay. I hope so. I'm about to say. I'm about to be mad. Hell nah, boy.
Because I got a soft
Bull
spot,
cap.
man,
Bull
for
cap
people.
over here.
And I fucked around and said a price around a coworker that I'm just like talking shit because I'm high off the fact that this shit I actually got the PS5. And they was like, yeah, so you still selling it for that price? And I'm like,
coworker.
Right.
They get paid the same day he get paid.
Right.
But it helps that she
I did the right thing with the Xbox. This guy, when the Xbox first dropped, he threw me a retail price. And I said, man, I'd rather you get it to somebody else. Because I know for a fact I was going to let the Xbox go.
Yeah,
I knew for a fact. I didn't want nothing to do with the Xbox.
I would have bought that shit and sold that shit.
They had another one, so I had
in my position, though, in this team I'm on with work, I'm the top nigga. Top dog. So I would have felt bad taking this person's below me, and I would have felt bad. So nah, you do what you want. I think he was just trying to get some brownie points with me. He was willing. I was like, nah, man, let somebody else eat off of that. I'm definitely gonna take your money. And that was. I don't know. I feel bad looking back. I'm gonna take the shot, but I should have took that money.
Nah, it was definitely the opportunity cost. I had to let him go. Me being a grown man, I was
you
like,
got to,
I had
because
to.
listen, bro.
Listen. That was feeling like stolen property, man. Especially for the prices they were paying for it.
Listen, bro. If you have a way to legally make drug dealer money, do that shit. Because that's all this shit is. Exactly. Like, I do be feeling guilty.
Selling the white bricks.
Right. I do be feeling guilty at times, but at the same time, it's like, nigga, there's no other investment that you can make fucking double your money off of.
Crypto.
There's none of them.
We're gonna do crypto. We're gonna talk about crypto. Bitcoin is booming, bro. If we're gonna talk about this,
I don't understand. That's why I can't invest in it. But that shit is doing numbers.
Damn, this nigga is not.
Yeah, he getting lit today.
So that whole I don't understand. He was pouring liquor until he finished, just on the playback. So he said Bitcoin and was pouring instead. I don't understand. Blah 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 blah. That was pouring liquor.
This is what happened when you decide to record in my house. I either got something going on,
right?
Nah, but Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency is going up, man.
So we went on a lot of tangents.
We did.
Let me bring it back. The holiday period, right? So. Thinking about last year, going into 2020, the new decade, we were like, shit, 2020, I got that 2020 vision. I'm about to do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. Boom. Look back at what you expected and what you actually accomplished and how far off were you from your goals and how close were you. So I'll start off, right? I had financial goals I wanted to achieve. I was fortunate. I had physical goals I wanted to achieve. I was determined. And everything else in between just fell into place with the two of them. So outside, and I don't want to sound like I'm just being nonchalant because I know a lot of people lost loved ones, and I'll say this: I feel like those numbers they throw us on the news are inflated like a motherfucker about what's COVID related deaths. Yeah, I feel like those numbers are really, very, 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 very influential to try to get us to either take a vaccine or to social distance or quarantine.
Right,
and that's not being insensitive. That's just my beliefs. I feel like they're telling us they're saying it's a positive reason. They want us to sit the fuck in the house for at least 3 months and let this nation cool down. But I know people that work in the hospital, whether it's nurses or doctors, that say yeah, those numbers aren't accurate. I do feel like 2020 for me, like I was literally in another country when the pandemic broke.
Yeah, I remember.
That shit's crazy. I was literally, it's the selfish part of myself. This is my first international trip just off a plane.
Really?
Off a plane. I've been on cruises to other countries, but like off a plane, I had the mindset like, yo, if I get stuck here, y'all can keep me. I don't give a fuck. But like when it broke, I was like, damn, for real. And then looking back from March up until now, 9 months later, the year in retrospect has been great because it allowed me so much more time, so much opportunity to really focus on what I wanted to accomplish. Not just for myself, for my kids, for my family. And it's more than just materialistic shit. It's the mental aspects, the physical aspects, the financial aspect. It's a lot of shit. I had more time that we all should have been able to utilize to really invest in yourself. And investing in yourself is not just a dollar aspect. It's more a mental.
Yeah.
Are you really programming your body, yourself to really focus on what you really want? If I had to look at 2020 compared to previous years, 2020 was a success for me. And that's not even no materialistic shit. Just like the mindset, I can go into 2021 today and feel like I'm finally at peace with a lot of demons.
Yeah.
There was a lot of anger I had. You know, Eric knows more than anybody. I had a lot of anger towards people in situations that I couldn't let go of. Like it was burning. It was holding me back. And just having time to really focus the energy into myself. Like a lot of us, we always look for either materialistic shit or for other people. But you really center yourself as the sole purpose of what you want to accomplish. Like that's just amazing. Like, we were forced to literally have to say, hey, 6 months minimum, sit in the house, do what's best for you, and then come out a better person. Yeah.
I agree, man. Like I said that shit at the beginning of the year, and like I do want to say, starting off, man, like if you lost somebody, I lost people, and I can understand. But I think at the beginning of the year, spiritually, I understood that when you got to the end of this year, there was gonna be some people that came out on one side, and there was gonna be some people that came out on the other side. Like there was gonna be some people that, like, I feel like we're in a paradigm shift.
Yes.
And like, bro, I really this the least I done worked at a corporate job, like since I started working at a corporate job. Like, and I still got my job, but like,
Me too.
I probably done took off a combined like 6 months this year of not working. But bro, I have healed past some traumas that have like really dictated how my life worked and how like I look at life. Like I really feel like for the longest I've been like accepting the fact that I have depression. And like I feel like I've healed past that shit. Like not to say that I never have like a depressive episode or anything. It's just like I've really learned the tools to work past that shit, and I've had time to just sit down and reflect on like how my mind worked in those situations where I was depressed. And like to have healed past that, like it's one of the greatest things I ever done. Like I've been wanting to buy a house probably for like 6 years, but I ain't never had the courage to even apply for a loan because I was just like, my shit fucked up. Like I ain't, you know what I'm saying? But I've not worked 6 months this year, and majority of that shit was unpaid, but I had the money like saved up, and I realized like, damn, I wasn't as bad with money as I thought I was. Like, you know what I'm saying? As these things that we internalize around our traumas, Like when you have a moment to sit back and just actually look at shit and not continue to be distracted by like moving and going here and going there and like, you know what I'm saying? And being here, like you really get a moment to sit down and look at like where you are literally. And like I'm like this close to having the best credit I've ever had. I started the application process for buying a home. And like I said, these are things that I have in my mind and in my depressive state. Like, bro, I'm never going to get this shit. You know what I'm saying? And in a year that I took off this much time for work and didn't get paid and didn't focus on the money, like I really had an opportunity to grow spiritually. And I'm like, bro, like 2020 was probably like the hardest year of my life, but it's and it's like you grew in ways that you weren't expecting to grow. Like
Absolutely.
And you got to put value on that shit. Like, cause you know, a lot of people, I remember in the beginning of the pandemic, they was like, everybody was like, you got to do this while we in the pandemic. You got to do all of this shit. And I feel like we were all meant to like grow spiritually and like heal traumas in ourselves mentally through this. Like, and like, that's something that we all need to celebrate.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, to piggyback off of what you guys were saying, I feel like the pandemic did add a lot of clarity. I mean, we do record on Sunday and just not to go to church too much, but anytime anyone in the history of prophetism or like religion or anything, they always had to go out into the wilderness. They always had to be alone. Yeah. And that's what COVID forced people to do. Yep. It forced them to sit and stew in the mess or the pleasantries that they have created in their life. So your wife, your husband, your kids, whatever you've been teaching your kids, you see it. like firsthand. That virtual learning. Like, oh yeah. So now you see how bad little Timmy ass is. Or
real shit. Kari, I'm sorry, I said his name. My son ain't bad, but his virtual learning habits did show like, damn, I be bullshit when I'm working.
or with your wife, you like, yeah, she bad as hell. I like to take out just to show her off. You know what I'm saying? I can pay her. You know what I'm saying? I can just pay her off, toss her this, and then have my little side bitch. But with COVID, you can't really do all of that. You here in the house with this one main lady, and she's like fully main now, not just main with side.
You give me a side tangent. I'm sorry.
Well,
you can relate to me. This COVID dating has been kind of fun. They don't have as many expectations for you to do extra shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm being transparent. I'm sorry. I fucking myself up with this, but the 2020.
No, we ain't gonna have you. I'm gonna step in. But even with that, like, so even going through COVID, and you know what I'm saying, so it provided a lot of clarity. So then I know it was a big thing once again with the woke community. I give them flack, but you know I feel like I'm part of it too. So with the Saturn and Jupiter, the reset, the great reset, what they talking about. Yeah, get you superpowers and all that good stuff. But what they really was saying was it's a reset that Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn represents, I guess, karma, and you know what goes around comes around. What everybody quintessentially understands is karma. And Jupiter represents like wealth. So whatever you think is what happens. Or
Bro,
whatever.
This shit is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like this. I'm sorry.
So what they saying is it's a great reset, and that in 2021. That, you know, life, to me, life is a game of willpower. So whoever thinks the hardest and works toward what they want undyingly, unbridledly, then you will soon attain what you want. Life has always been a game of willpower. So if you what you focus on is what you get. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, they say 21 is supposed to be whatever. But I think the way I'm looking at it is 2020 was that, and Jupiter and Saturn just kind of showed you what was happening. So whatever you was focusing on before 2020 is kind of what happened. Like if you was focusing on a whole bunch of shallow shit and it really wasn't necessarily anything of substance, it went away. It melted away in front of your eyes, and you really, it's like, you know, you was just working plays, swinging from riding waves, working plays, and all that stuff. But all the plays kind of dried up because now everybody got to sit on their ass. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, people still outside and whatnot. Ain't no shade to anybody, and I ain't trying to like throw subs or anything. But like, so if you riding waves, then you ain't really, you know what I'm saying? You ain't really got no foundation in creating anything for yourself. You just kind of, like what it says, you riding waves, riding on what else somebody else got going on, coattailing and whatnot. But in 2020, like if you created something or was doing something that was of you and for your people and like-minded people, it feels so much greater.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
That shit's so crazy because I ain't know, the Jupiter was karma and finance, like
Saturn's karma, Jupiter's pretty much just like abundance.
bruh, like nigga, I was thinking when I got out of the car, I was like, bruh, I got a lot of money in my bank account right now, bruh.
This old chicken off.
I was like, damn, I got, and I'm holding on to it. Like normally that shit escapes me because I'm just like, but also, I also been like, bruh, I've been having dreams around karma and like just, I've been in thought around karma like shit that I did that I felt like I was paying for karmically. Like, I'm just like free from that shit. Like, I really, like the healing that I spoke of, like right before fucking December 21st, like I was already feeling the freedom of like the trauma and like the healing. And it's like, bro, like so many people that has been there experiencing this year. Like, yes, it's been fucking hard, but like, nigga, that's why I'm like, not to bring it back to the student loan shit. I mean,
hey, why not?
But to bring it back to the student loan shit is like, bro, like, why not add that extra sprinkle on top of like where
sprinkle me, baby.
Right, where we've gotten to, because nigga, we already on this paradigm shift, nigga. Like, I'm finna do some shit that I never thought I could do, and I know I'm finna do it because I know I believe in me. Like, I healed past some shit, so I'm like, any help I can get, them motherfuckers want. I get where you coming from. I'm just saying.
I feel you. I feel you, and I absolutely feel you. And now that I'm thinking back on it once again with COVID, I know early on with COVID, people was like, oh, white people, black people know how to live without and all this good stuff. I really feel like COVID has affected the white community like on a way larger scale than it has the black community. Although black people are dying and that shit, I got some loved ones and all that shit is past and all that good shit. And I'm not saying that. However, it's just like, for white people to not have the authority to say and do whatever they want. Like, as far as even looking at Trump, it's like, oh, I'm still the president until proven otherwise. Like, COVID really don't give a fuck. Like, COVID is like, okay, you're not going to wear your mask, but then some motherfuckers is dying. Like, point blank,
white
period.
people, they trip with this mask shit. I'm sorry. This is one of my final white people criticisms for 2020.
Crack ass crackers.
Crack for 2020. Wear the fucking mask and shut the fuck up. They be feeling so entitled. Did y'all see the video? It's like Saks Fifth Avenue.
Oh, no.
It was a white guy, his girl, and the employee was black. He's like, hey, man. The black guy came very humble, very respectable. Hey, you flip your mask up, make sure you cover your mouth and your nose. So, and the white girl's like, for what? Fuck you mean for what? Nigga?
I won't die, motherfucker.
Exactly.
But see, that's okay. I hate to be the woke nigga, like,
nah, go
and
ahead.
I'm not in agreement. I'm just like, they've not been oppressed in this country, so they don't like. They look at shit like that totally different than we do. So they like where they have an innate freedom where they like, I know I'm free. Like, I know I can do what the fuck I want to do. When any motherfucker, it don't matter. You could. This is like a don't put your hand in the stove type of situation. Like a lot, right. Like a lot of us, we have so much trauma that's passed down in our DNA that we know we not supposed to do certain shit because we'll die from it. Them motherfuckers is like, I'm just used to doing what the fuck I want to do.
Right.
And anything that you tell me against what I want to do is like you're oppressing me. It's not freedom. And I'm gung ho about that shit. And it's like I feel like as black people, like we gotta find a way to like get some of that shit in our system. Not to the point where not to the point where we gonna die.
I think that shit too. I see what you're saying because it's damn near like Trump. Trump really just does not give a fuck, and it's like this entitled, just whatever the fuck. Like, bro, it's just entitlement. Like, I just do what I want to do, and then it's nothing wrong until you tell me it's wrong. Then you have to prove that it's wrong. And if I can argue with you and get out of proving that it's wrong, then it's not wrong. So I'm okay. Yeah. Like, what? No, motherfucker, it's wrong. You know it's wrong. Hey, the sign says wrong. What? How do you not think this is wrong?
He did a great job of trying to get a last second like black person like, hey, Trump, you're right vote.
Talking about that. Bro, so many people on fucking Facebook was like,
shout out to Trayvon Green. We go back to Shaw. This was 15 years ago. Yeah. He told me that troll like, hey, hold on.
I seen that post.
He said, y'all can keep recounting as long as I get this 2000 approved. I'll win this shit. I was like, everybody recount them votes for
you know, Trey, that's my nigga, man. That's who I stayed with when I was out in Texas.
Trey was a cool ass dude.
Shout out to Trey. Yeah, we had class together and everything. Yeah. What I will say about Trump is he's thinking long term about the history, and he just wants to go down as a bipartisan president. However, we know this motherfucker was nowhere near bipartisan. Right. So I feel like that's what he's doing with that.
Okay, we gotta wrap this shit up soon.
Okay. Wrap it up, B.
But I think okay, listen. I think this is my theory. This because you know them niggas like they want to prosecute him after he leave the office, right?
Yeah, he gonna be somewhere with Russell Simmons. Shout out.
Look, that's why I said this nigga is probably going
R. Kelly. Which one?
Nah, Russell. Fuck R. Kelly.
I ain't talking about the Chargers. But
nah, Russell good. I don't know. He just didn't get caught up in the bullshit.
I feel like this nigga's gonna get on Air Force One and he's gonna change flight plans in the middle of the flight, and he gonna go to some other country and cause you gotta think, bro. He doesn't. There's a lot of fucking criminal cases that they got against Trump.
Hey.
Like
can he pardon himself? Did he pardon 2 Russian people?
You had to be
15 questionable people the other day when he made that 2000.
But you got to be convicted first, bro. He ain't been convicted.
I know we wrapping up, but if Trump pardoned Big Meech, how what are the ramifications? You think niggas is gonna fuck with him across the whole land?
Niggas, you talking about black people?
Yeah. I'm glad. So I'm glad we understand that niggas is different because it could be white niggas or black niggas. Right. But if he pardoned Big Meat, bruh, if he pardoned BMF, if Trump pardoned BMF, I don't know. I say that.
What you gonna do?
I don't know.
What you gonna do?
I don't know. I might be like, hey, he ain't that bad. That's some real shit. Yeah. I mean, hey, he came in like John Gotti. If all you did was pardon another drug dealer, like, what you mean? Like,
bro, it's so funny, man. Like, that's why I'm like, bro, we could do fucking anything. It's niggas that come out of prison that been in there for years and fucking make it. They be successful in America.
Right? He got to get Meech, and then what's the dude from Chicago? Damn, what's
I don't know all drug lords like you know.
Oh, I watch BET. what's the I watch American Gangster. Damn.
You talking about Denzel Washington character?
Nah, not Frank Lucas. The nigga, he fuck. I cannot remember this nigga name.
So in another life, he was a drug lord.
Nah, just on video.
That's why this nigga love Gucci Man, bro. This nigga loves the lore. He loves the lore of niggas doing street shit, bro. Nah, he be living through that history.
You want people doing legal shit to win.
No, my thing is, I just love the counterculture and criminality of America.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
I think
we talking about The Godfather. We need to talk about Big Meech. If we talking about Larry Hoover, if we talking about John Gotti, we need to talk about Larry Hoover.
But the thing about it is, and this is also a taught thing to us, It's like black people hold black people accountable.
Right.
So like,
But that goes back to the entitlement shit. Like, well, he only killed 1,000 people. I mean, but he made $10 billion. He's good for it.
And that's why we will eventually, honestly, we will be the dominant race. Not because we got negative intent, but it's just like we do things in our nature that will allow us to outlive and outlast other races. Like we exist through certain struggles that build survivor instinct in us. Just like the whole mask situation. Probably people who got sick and died from that shit just from being against masks. And we have it built into us like, all right, nigga, I can fucking just wear this mask.
Right, what's the opportunity cost of this? I could not wear this mask and possibly die. Or I can wear a mask. Fuck it.
Right. So
the mask ain't gonna hurt that much.
So I feel like yes.
I ain't gonna pay for no mask though. Like, you know how them stores be having you pay for it? Like, fuck you, nigga. This shit free. It's a public health emergency.
Yes, there's like, yes, we have to cast aside people who follow a standard that was made common by America, but we also have to hold ourselves to a certain standard of who we are as people.
I will say this.
You got final thoughts?
No, we ain't have final thoughts yet. Now, one last topic, and forgive me if you're listening. It's worth it. I want you to compare what your 2020 goals was to your 2021 goals. We're at that point where you got to look at what you thought you was walking into, and now that you've experienced what the reality is, what do you think you're walking into?
Right, I say that. What's your expectations for 2021? Do you have any
I don't
expectations?
have any, man. Like I literally, I'll go first. I'm sorry, but like in 2021, I don't remember. I meant 2020. I remember like I'm not gonna set no goals. Like, but I do have like 121 dreams and stuff like that, and I have my business that I'm really like working towards and stuff like that. But I didn't have no extreme goals set around it. But I do know I'm extremely optimistic about 2021. Like I'm extremely optimistic to see like how all of this shit grows to the next level, because everything I did in 2020 was a level up, like in some way, shape, or form. Like, even if I didn't intend it in that specific arena, I leveled up in that arena.
Most definitely. I mean, for me, when I'm thinking about expectations for 2021, I mean, I feel like it will be not necessarily more of the same. I don't think it's going to get worse. I think it's going to be very great for certain people, and then for others it will be because it's the same, like same old bullshit, like you know, death, and
that's a sad
like
thing about like life. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I feel like it's like social slipstreams that people have gotten into in 2021. Like before 2020, it was social slipstreams that you can get into, like with the celebrity bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And then you could just, you know, go up and pop off and do whatever the fuck you wanted to. But 2020 has kind of changed the frequency, the dial just a little bit. So now people trying to find it. Some people have found it, and then some people still searching, but it's still new ways for you to like kind of cap off of the things, because the frequency dial has changed. So the dial is changing, and we don't know if it stopped. It feels like it's moving, but that might be because I haven't actually found a slipstream. You feel me? Does that make? I don't know. I went super esoteric.
I'm pretty sure that went over a lot of people's head, but I understand what you're saying.
I'll say this. You know, I was in a big church scene for a minute, and you know, one of the biggest verses you can get was, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." So, looking back at 2020, like going into the new year, there was a lot of capitalism, materialistic goals I wanted to achieve. And this year, having XYZ amount of time to just sit on your ass and really focus on thyself, whether it's yourself, myself, whoever self. I'll say 2021, comparing and contrasting, I'll say that I have no materialistic wants. Everybody wants to buy a house, right? And that shit, if it happens, it happens. I'm not in the house yet. I'm only 34, so I'm still within my goal of life of buying a house. But it did teach me like, hey, yo, so much more your goals should focus on yourself and prospering. So I looking at going into 2020, materialistic, going into 2021, selfishness. You really have to want, and selfish. When people say selfish, they always look at it as a negative context. When I say it's more like, hey, I want more for myself. Myself doesn't just include me. It just includes my children, my family. Like, hey, I want more for what we're going to experience, endure, live through, overcome. I want it. So for 2021, man, I don't know what the unknown is. I don't know how long this pandemic is going to run.
Yeah.
At all. We know none of us have a clue. Like, think about vacationer. Like, me as a vacationer, I like to take cruises, man.
Yeah. So even
I ain't
talking
never
about
been on one.
talking about vacations
you.
and all
You
that
ready?
stuff. So Twitter at best is, oh my God, mind blowing, and then a lot of times it's just like a lot of bullshit. I always try to find the mind blowing epiphanies and shit like that. That's why I like the podcast. That's why I like the thoughts and having conversations with people. But I seen a tweet and it said, after the 1918 flu or swine flu or whatever flu it was, that the Roaring '20s was crazy. So my thing is, one of my goals is to make it through the coronavirus, like 2019, 2020, and 2021, because they talking about it's evolving and all that stuff. Because like once this shit's over with, oh, the world is gonna be motherfucking lit. I'm talking about Great Gatsby parties and all this type shit. Like, think about the Roaring '20s. Like, when I seen that tweet, I was just like, you know how you have like your shit flash before your eyes? Yeah, I was like, shit, niggas is gonna be lit. Oh my God, I can't wait. So my thing is, I just want to make it to the end of it.
For us, because we grew up in the Y2K period and we were experiencing the pandemic. You ain't lying. 2021, if it does get out of the pandemic, it's about to be legendary.
Bruh.
Speaking for myself, fuck the rest of the world.
It's coming back.
I'm going ham. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
Bruh.
I'm positioned to enjoy 2021 if there is a life outside of your household. Outside of Georgia, forget the household. Georgia is the most open state.
I'm talking about Ja Rule and 50 Cent doing like a versus concert together.
Oh my God.
On like doing duets together.
Oh my God.
Like, I'm talking about after coronavirus,
they got no songs together.
they doing duets, bro. I'm talking
They're
about
doing each other's songs together.
bro, I'm talking about crazy shit. Just after Corona, oh my God. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother topic. We just need to talk about after Corona because shit.
Ooh, all right. So that does bring us to our final thoughts. I'm gonna let y'all go first because my final thoughts gonna bring it home.
Man, I ain't really. Do I have final thoughts? I said the Saturn and Jupiter thing. I did get that off. I will say, man, like at all times, focus on yourself. I feel like the movie Soul. Shout out my homeboy B Lee and congratulations. If you know, you know.
Shout out.
Yeah. The movie Soul, he recommended we watch it. I end up watching it. I do feel like a lot of people talking about this is an adult movie. Yeah, it is for adults. But it's some stuff I didn't like about it, but overall I did like it. Yeah. And I think it's dope. And I think it's like one of the perfect times, whether you like it or not. I feel like that movie coming out in 2020, even with what we talked about on the podcast, is probably like the best timing ever. For that movie.
That's what I felt.
Like the timing for that movie was impeccable, bro. Like you gotta watch it.
Paradigm shift, bro.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's a good movie. You know, nobody should agree 100% with anything, and that's what I'm saying. I didn't agree 100% with it, but I didn't disagree 100% or even 50% with it. But yeah, White Soul. That's my final thought.
I agree. I did watching that shit. I did feel like it was perfect timing, like, because it's capping off a paradigm shift. It's like, okay, choose. You know what I'm saying? You might have thought for however long you've been living that this is what your life was supposed to be. I'm giving you the freedom to choose right now. And I think that's what 2020 gave us, is the freedom to choose.
Absolutely.
Like cuz if you survived, you're here. If you died, unfortunately, people die. You know what I'm saying? Like unfortunately, anytime there's a paradigm shift, there has to be some type of sacrifice. And I'm not saying that the people you lost were a sacrifice. It's just they are no longer here. But if you are here, you have a choice. You have another day to choose what the rest of your life is gonna be like, and like live the rest of your life knowing that it's a choice. It's not wherever you came from. It's not whatever you've been through. It's not whatever your traumas is. Whatever hurts you is what you choose. Like you have the choice. That's the most powerful thing that we have. Like there's so many examples of people like I said, coming from prison and being successful. There's so many examples of people living 70 years of life and choosing a different route and then doing that and excelling at it. It's like people who are like do one thing for the majority of their life and they choose something different and they fucking amazing at it. Like you have a choice to choose like whatever you want to be and be that and believe that you can be that. That's my last thought.
Dope, man. Yeah, you have a choice because this year has gave us so much isolation that you really have to reflect on what you stand for. As a man or a woman, what do you stand for in life? I say this as my final thought. We're going into 2021. December 27th, 2020 is the day we're recording this. I remember this day vividly 7 years ago because I lost my mother.
That makes sense.
December 27th, the following day, I remember going to a Jay-Z concert. My first Jay-Z concert. And if you know me, that's my favorite artist of all time. His music is timeless. And something at the concert was dope. It was at Phillips Arena back at the State Farm Arena now, Phillips Arena now. And something didn't feel right. I woke up the next morning, the 28th, and I got a call from my aunt. All my family was in town. I said, hey, Jason, come over. And the feeling that came across me is I knew it. When I got called in the morning, I knew what time it was. No matter what was going on in my life, I just knew, you know, God, he has a plan for all of us, man. I'm not super spiritual. I do believe in the Bible and the Word, but I practice it at my own wavelength. I'll say that. And something just said, yeah, you know, you got to be there. So on the 28th, by the time this podcast come out, that day has elapsed. But I felt it that when I woke up that morning, went over there and took a final breath. And I made a promise to her that I'm still fulfilling. I say this to everybody because 2020 was hard on a lot of people. It didn't hit me as much. And not that I wish it that it did, but I wish that the people that did impact, I wish I could be there for you more. But this pandemic, this virus that we're living through is just look at the positives of what that person brought to you in life, what foundations they instilled in you, what principles they taught you, and make sure that every breath that you take is for a greater cause. Whether you have children or you don't, whether you lost a loved one or you didn't, just make sure you have an impactful imprint that's a legacy. And that's something that I did use this 2020 year to really do stuff outside of my comfort zone, outside of what I'm used to try to do, whether it was giving back, being supportive, either financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, like more than ever, this was the first year, transparency, that I didn't feel like I was closing out, I was blocking out Christmas. Before this year, I was blocking out Christmas for my own personal sake. I remember my last memory with her on Christmas. I remember the final smile she gave me. The last word, listen, when she passed, she was holding my hand. I took her final breath holding my hand, right? So this year, this past Christmas, and I literally, we're at my house, I didn't do nothing this year, but the feeling that I had was the most positive feeling I've had since 2013. I've almost up until this year, I almost started resenting Christmas, and I don't want nobody to feel that, man. You don't want nobody to feel that the emptiness, that bottomless feel that's in the bottom of your soul. That like, damn, what could I have done more? So to bring it back, and I brought everybody down. 2021.
You ain't bringing nobody down, man.
Right.
Speaking real.
2021. I really encourage you, no matter how small, how big, do something for somebody that you genuinely care about. That's gonna bring a smile to them, man. You ain't gotta love them as a family member or as a spouse, or whatever the case, what type of love you have. Do that one thing that's gonna show them, hey, no matter what, I want you to have an everlasting smile, experience of happiness and joy. That's eternity. There's nothing that you can wash away, whether in this world or out this world. Remember me for what I did for you. It doesn't have to be materialistic. I promise. You could say words to somebody that resonates. That's timeless. You can give somebody a gift. That's timeless. No matter how small in value, how big in value. You don't know what it means to them that you actually put thought into what you did, whether it's for their birthday, for Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Easter, Christmas, any other holiday that you celebrate in between. A birthday, look out for them. Because I finally made it over that hump that I didn't think I was going to make it over, man. That's all I got.
Hey, man, I'm glad you made it, bro.
I'm glad you made it. That's deep. I'm glad you can talk about it and share about it. Because one thing we don't realize is, a lot of times when you're going through something, it feels like the world is on you and you're the only one going through it. But a lot of times, the things that we go through, somebody else is going through. And that's what testimonies are. It's like you sharing your experience to help somebody else who's in the thick of it. And you might show them where that light is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that light at the end of the tunnel. It might be complete darkness, but then you say one or two words, like you were saying, and then now they got a little bit of a vision of where to walk toward. They're still stumbling around, and they might still be in it for months, years, however long, but they at least know, well, I can walk in. They got a North Star. And then that North Star might turn into a hole. And then that hole is something they can crawl through and out of, and then say, yell back in and say, hey, this way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why a podcast is so the next wave, and it's the move, and Clubhouse and all that stuff, because you have an opportunity to speak where a lot of us didn't have a voice, and in our culture, a lot of the times we didn't get to relate to people because we suppress so much of this shit.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this shit man,
hard body all day.
Right. And we have an opportunity to one, talk about the shit so you can release it. So much of healing is just speaking this shit out of your body, expelling it.
Right, that's real.
Verbally. That's so much of the healing part of all of this. So I appreciate you saying that, man. I know I came in and you was listening to Mama, and I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I could understand.
You didn't know it. Yeah.
But I could understand because I was like, I know, you know what I'm saying? But I think we at a place in human beings that's so dope. Again, we in this paradigm shift that a lot of people are sharing the parts of themselves that they've been suppressing so long. Yeah. And when you start sharing that shit, the healing comes, man. It's just I don't know why it works like that, but it does. So again, man, I appreciate that. I think we should make a whole audio clip of that. If you cool with that, if not, we'll just leave it. Yeah, because that was a very important thing, and a lot of times people don't make it all the way to the end of the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I already gave my final thought, but I came back around. This is a dope way to end the year, man.
Yeah, this is a great way to end of the year, man. And it's it provided us with a lot of reflection.
Shout out to Andrew. Yeah. Shout out to Twan, man. Wish y'all was here. for some in the universe just didn't align with y'all being here today.
Yeah. And Merry Christmas, like we said to everybody. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy sweetest day, Valentine's, whatever you celebrate.
Right, that shit is months ago. Like, yeah. But it's been another episode of my Homeboys podcast.
Hey, this is my homeboy Napoleon.
This is my homeboy E Moneybags, aka Eric, aka 121 Dreams, 121 Dreamers on Instagram.
Appreciate it. This is my homeboy Jason, aka Big Grams, aka Hard Body, aka what's the movie with The Rock and
Stop it. Right. Hey, and we out.
Yes, sir.